This is going to be an overview for if and when you have a deployment with your AlpineStars plasma jacket. I'll show you everything that comes with the jacket, including the inflator kit does not come with it. You'll have to buy this separately, but it does come with this valve to check the bladder and the integrity of the bladder once you have in a deployment. And you'll do this before you put the canister back on, and we'll go through those steps here in a second. Okay, with all that said, let's move forward and get it going. So the reason I'm here today is to show you what this will look like after you have had your accident or once this jacket has deployed. Hopefully it hasn't accidentally gone off and you got to deal with that mess. But this happened to me on the track. I had a low side, and unfortunately for me, my hand suffered quite a bit, tore the tendon on here, but that's a different story. The jacket did work great. It worked wonderfully. I think it protected me before or beyond what I could actually think of right now, because I had not hurt further in other places. After the crash, I knew it was deployed because I'll show you here, if your jacket has deployed, these LEDs will show you what's going on. This is to show you that the battery is worn down, but this right here will show you that when this stays red, but this will let you know that this is deployed and the canister needs to be reset after the fact. Now we're here on the back side of the plasma jacket, and we need to get to the hard part and the components and the canister inside. So the next step would be just to open up the cover, so that way we can expose the back protector. And this is, the back protector, and this is the hard shell that covers all the electronics and components. And we'll lift up on this tab to expose all these items. So we're on the back side of the jacket, and we've just opened up the cover. So now we just need to go ahead and release this. This is all held on by Velcro, and this is a hard shell component, and this will expose your canister. This will also expose the connection to the brains, and this will also have the connector for the canister. But first things first, we need to shut off the device, so that make sure that we have this turned off before we start to remove any of these items. And as we start to change it, and also as we start to test the bladder as well. Now we're at the bladder testing part of this. So basically what you do, the canister is still in here, just leave it in, and we'll take this out in a second, but we need to test the integrity of this bladder. And there is a valve here, inside here, that we need to attach this to, and check, make sure that it's holding air and that the airbag is good. So we'll go ahead and do that. So what do this guy, reach in here, and there's a tab here, and there is a big old bug here from track day, probably. Get out of there. There is a tire here. Right here is where the straps goes in, and then we'll just pull this portion out, allow this to sit out, and then we'll do this. Put the valve on here. Just tighten it hand tight, and you don't have to gorilla monkey this thing on here. So, and then we'll take the cap off, and then we'll put the air pump here. I think my airbag might be bad. Yeah, it's already deflating. I can hear it hissing. And I can't even test it with the thing because it's already starting to deflate. So for me, it looks like I might have to send this back into AlpineStars, and because it is holding some air, but this is not like where it's so soft. And I can hear the air deflating out of somewhere. And I've checked this component's here, but it seems like this should hold air for 10 seconds, and it's not holding at all. So without doing this test, I would have just undone the canister, popped a new canister in, reset the system, and I think I'd be good to go. But the thing is that this may not inflate the next time I'm in a low side crash or a high side crash. Always, I would say always do this, because like I said, I wouldn't have known. So lesson learned all the way around. But I will post some updates and let you know what AlpineStars says it is. But there is an issue with the bag, and so now unfortunately I've got to send this back into AlpineStars so they can confirm and let me know if the airbag is problematic. That kind of puts the old brakes on everything, but I will catch you in the next one. Later. I did contact AlpineStars and let them know what was going on after I did do the test. They do want me to send it back in and have them look at it just to make sure that the bladder's okay, and maybe I'll get lucky and they'll cover under something under warranty, since this is the first deployment, because this is supposed to be able to deploy up to 6 times. Even if you check the integrity of the bag and it's still good after that 6th deployment, they still want to replace it. That's just a safety thing. But since I can't do that, I can't move forward with installing the new canister, because it makes no sense to install it when the bladder itself isn't quite working. So we're just going to move ahead and pretend that we're replacing this. We're going to release this latch here, and it's just a plastic latch, which is basically used to hold this guy on. You can see there's an alignment once you get it in place. It's just supposed to make sure that it's sitting in the right position, because if you have it too far, this connector will not fit. It has a little spot where it sits in, but we don't have to deal with this connector because we're not dealing with anything on this portion, because this has to go to the front controller. So if you're taking all this out to wash the lining and everything, this is something we might have to deal with later. So you've gone through, you test your bladder, and you're good to go, and you're ready to move on to installing a new canister. So the first thing is we're going to take this little latch off, and it's pretty easy. Now with this, you need to be careful, because this yellow wire, yellow and green wire, it's attached to the board, the circuit board for the brains and everything of this computer. So if you pull too hard or pull too much, this will disconnect. Now it is easy to put it back on, and I saw another guy do it where you take out these hex bolts. But if you do that, you're gonna have to take this off in order to plug that back in. So don't do that. So this connector here has 2 prongs, and they're on either side, and you need to push it up away from the canister. So you pinch in and you just slide it up, and this will pop off. You need 2 hands, and it'll come off like that. And I'll show this connector via what it looks like on the back side of the canister. So the canister will just come up now. You just hold on with 2 hands at the base here, and then you just twist off, because you don't want to have any tears or anything like that happen when you're getting this bad boy on. You can see this guy is rust looking or brown. I'm not sure if that's what it's supposed to look like after the fact, but this is my first deployment, my first changing of the cartridge. So this is the back side of the canister. So that connector has a little slit, has 2 little insets where you push it in, and you'll hear an audible click once you have it in there. So make sure when you're twisting this on that the canister is sitting in like this. Not like this, not like this. It does have a little bit of play, so you are able to maneuver it around just a little bit. All right, not much in this thing. In the inflator kit, it's just a box with a canister and some instructions. It's not really all that crazy packaged. So you get this, you get an empty box, and then you're gonna get the instructions. So this comes with some pretty good information. It's not as thick as the actual manual, which is a mini Bible and whatnot. This is a little cleaner. You can see the tip of the canister doesn't have any kind of signs of use. So it looks pretty good, and we're good to go. So, but that's all that's in this kit. It's not much, but again, this is pretty good. So make sure you read through it, because it will guide you through the process. Let's just say with the magic of editing and stuff, and boom, my works. And this is all perfect, and we're ready to put this guy back on. And so now you also have this line here, and it says for correct installation. Screw until the line. This portion here, this will also, if it's tucked into the suit, it will pull out to a certain degree so that you can lay this in. So this is supposed to fit in. Everything has like a little inset. So this clamp here that goes to the bladder will inset here. And if your line is too far down or too far up, you won't be able to put this back in, this connector back into its little, I wouldn't call it a housing, but it's an inset. So this is where this would rest. So anyway, enough of that. Enough bull. So basically this is brand new and you're ready to put your airbag back in. So you hold it from the top and this will slide back in. And you want to just make sure you grab the bottom and you just kind of snug it. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to over tighten it. You just make sure it's snug down. So there is a little arrow with a line here. And this arrow also corresponds to that. So at least if you have it close, you should be able to, you'll be fine. Once it's inset, it'll be more horizontal. And like I said, with this part, this clip here, it does have a little bit of play, but you can push this canister up out of its little housing, or again, its little inset here. And then make sure you connect this and you'll hear it click. And it's an audible click. And then in order to get it back all lined up, you can turn it just a little bit. It has the ability to twist, so you can move it back down into position, make sure the wire is back underneath there. And then what you can do is just take this tab latch and put it back there. And then this is basically done at this point. After this, you would normally turn yours back on. You would turn it on and then make sure that the cover is nice and homey and tight. Close this up and put this back in. It's just slap this bad boy back into its little pocket and kind of bring this around, and then you just close it, zip it on up. And again, yours will be done. Hopefully your bladder works. And so once you get it all said and done, basically just make sure that these magnets touch. Your system is on. This will fire up. It'll go to the normal diagnostics through it, but this should end up being blue. Now, if for whatever reason this LED is red, something is wrong with your system. Either it didn't recognize you putting in the new airbag, or there may be something faulty in general after your crash that may have happened that may need to go back in to be inspected. But again, thank you for watching the video. If you found it at all interesting, please subscribe. Thank you for sticking around, and we'll catch you in the next one. Happy wrenching.